Well, hey there, YouTube. Good morning. How is everybody this morning? Rough day, but we'll get over it. Today, I am going to do two reviews to let you guys know what I wore yesterday and today. Have had some issues with my phone, so hopefully I resolved those. If I did not, looks like I'm going to have another bad day with my phone. So stay right there, this DB. And I'm about to take you behind the nonsense. So let's start off with what I wore yesterday. We'll talk about it because what I wore today is going to be kind of interesting. So what I wore yesterday was Imaginary Authors, the Cobra, and the Canary. This is a good cologne. I like this. Starts off, it's got hay in it, lemon, a couple other things in it. I'm sorry if I forget, but I like this. It starts off real. If anybody's ever been through a hay field where they just had turned up the hay, this is kind of what it smells like off the break. And then it dives down into an Adventus type smell. Adventus has the oak moss and the pineapple. This has hay and lemon. So it really almost smells quite honestly close to it. But as in all Adventus things, my nose goes blind to it after the initial spray, usually about, I don't know, usually just after the projection. I can't smell it much anymore until I catch whiffs of it. But in my opinion, full bottle worthy. I would get it. I would definitely get a full bottle of it. Imaginary Authors is slowly becoming a little bit of a favorite of mine. So anyway, so let's get into what I wore today. And it is a battle. Dun, 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 dun. The original versus the clone. And I kind of like this one, and I'm glad I chose this one because you guys will find out in a minute why. What do I got? Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and Alexandria's Fructus Virginos. Virginis, I'm sorry. Fructus Virginis. In other words, virgin fruit. And Lost Cherry. If you're not catching the drift about what either one of these mean, then you're either very, very immature or you just don't get it. Lost Cherry. Fructus Virginis. Anyway, let's get down to it. So, Tom Ford, Lost Cherry is actually one of my favorite Tom Fords. And I'll be honest with you, it gives you a cherry blast. In my opinion, it's a real cherry, and it's got that real cherry vibe to it. And then it also has almond in it. So the two of those, in my opinion, when the projection happens, is what you smell more of. The cherry is very, like I say, more like a real cherry, so it's not real blast. Very, unlike unlike the other one from, yeah, I'm just having a hard time getting it out today. Alexandria. This one is not to undermine that it does smell good. It smells great, but this is more of a synthetic cherry. Maybe synthetic ain't the word. What am I looking for? Maybe an immature cherry. So the difference is having real cherries versus maybe a Mancino cherry out of a jar. Your real cherries, your Tom Ford, your Mancino cherries are going to be what I think Alexandria smells like. So 2 hours with the Tom Ford of projection, and then Alexandria has a 2 hour 45-minute projection. So I like the projection on the Alexandria a lot better. Even though it is a very immature cherry, you have a better cherry smell out of the Alexandria. The cherry is more predominant. The almond is in there as well, but you don't quite get the mixture like you would with the Tom Ford version of it. Tom Ford version of it has the cherry and the almond that kind of sits together. You can smell them both right off the dot. The Alexandria actually just has a really powerful cherry blast. You can smell the almond, but it's very, very, very light to begin with. Longevity. God almighty. So many things on my mind. Longevity with the Tom Ford Lost Cherry, I got roughly 8 hours. With the Alexandria's Fructus Virginis, I actually got 10 hours out of it. And actually, I can still smell both of them still, but the Tom Ford is on my shirt. And the Alexandria version of it is actually still able to be smelled very semi-strong on my shirt, and I can still smell it on my arm. So, me personally, if I had to choose a winner, I'm going with the Alexandria. Simply because it gives me what I want. When I wanted a Tom Ford Lost Cherry, that's what I was looking for, was a cherry blast that would die down and give me a very adult cherry, which Tom Ford does give you more of an adult cherry. But this just lasts longer. When this finally does die down, it is more mature as the Tom Ford's initial blast. So when this Alexandria dies down, it smells like the projection on the Tom Ford. So, I mean, more bang for your buck, man. There's not a lot of difference except the immature cherry and the Alexandria. It just smells more, out of a jar, versus Tom Ford really smells like, real cherries. So you can't go wrong with either one, in my opinion. Neither one. So kind of brings me to the little rant that I wanted to get on today. Kind of feel about half stupid doing it, but I just get so sick and tired of immature people in the frag community. I mean, guys, we're a bunch of adults, man. And I keep seeing people on here booting people out for a freaking opinion. Man, this is the United States of America. We can say what we want to say. Is it always right? No. But we're still allowed to say what we want to say. And people who boot people out of groups because they have an opinion on something, it's just childish. We're all adults and we all have this love and passion for fragrances. But as soon as somebody posts something about a fragrance you don't agree with, you want to boot them out of a freaking group. I mean, how immature does that get? I've had times where I've been in a Venice group back in the day, and we would have discussions about a Venice, and I would tick somebody off because I'm just not a Venice lover. I think there's other things that smell better. Get them ticked off, and they delete my post and give me a warning. Next time you'll be booted out. Blech. Who cares? I do better business outside of the fragrance community anyway. Had a guy yesterday that wanted to blast Hanny from Alexandria and whoever owns Dua, calling them snakes in the grass. Guys, look, if you're going to have to come out and call somebody a snake in the grass, can you have some proof that somebody's a snake in the grass? Otherwise, you're just starting crap. So then I made a comment that wasn't really even a bad comment. What I was trying to say was there's been some people who've been real disrespectful to me. Kevin Holt is one of them. But I still have Kevin Holt's sensual obsessions. You have to, in this game that we're playing, you have to set aside the personal aspect and the fragrance aspect. Okay? When we're in the fragrance community and we're speaking of fragrances, it's fragrance. It isn't somebody's past or them being some kind of snake. Separate the person. I did that with Kevin. I don't like Kevin as a person. And I've learned the hard way not to like Kevin as a person. But I kept his videos up for sensual obsessions. Because if it was called Kevin Holt Perfumes, I probably would have took it down. But anyway, I made the comment, and somebody had the nerve to say, if you're going to call him out like a little bitch, why don't you tag him? Call him out like a little bitch, why don't you tag him? Well, first of all, I wasn't the bitch that blocked me. Kevin Holt was the bitch that blocked me. And I told the guy, I was like, look, how can I tag him if he blocked me? And he says, well, how am I supposed to know he blocked you, genius? I was like, well, you didn't. That's just more reason to shut the hell up. Why are we such powder puffs? Why is everybody so emotional over you're a bunch of little groupies. Somebody gave you a bunch of free colognes and now you're like indebted to them for the rest of your life? No. I like Alexandria colognes. I'm not indebted to Annie at all. I hope you understand that, Annie, but I'm not indebted to you. You did a great service by giving a reviewer some fragrances to review, and I absolutely appreciate that. But my personal business stays away from my YouTube. I get sick and tired of, because people have used my past against me. The people who did it the most, I never did anything to. Clifton Ledbetter and Anthony Rodriguez. Never did a thing to either one of them. But as soon as I left my fragrance group that I gave Ross Carlos and got blocked because of a bad deal, they started blasting my past all over the place. Clifton Ledbetter even went so far as to tell George Zaharoff that if George Zaharoff was going to be a friend of mine or have me as a friend on his Facebook, that he would take George Zaharoff off of his and they wouldn't promote his fragrance in the TLTG Fragrance Review Lounge. See what I mean? Childish. I did a review of Zaharoff Signature Pour On. He was just trying to show people that I did it and what I thought about it. And somebody went and hit the personal button. Grow up, people. Grow up. So somebody doesn't like Aventus. Wham. Somebody doesn't like something you like. Wham. Why has it got to be so friggin' personal? Grow up. Leave the fragrances in the fragrance community. Leave your personal business elsewhere. These big-time YouTubers are doing it. Carlos from Brooklyn Fragrance Lover getting drunk on his YouTube channel and telling people he's gay and all. Nobody cares. Enjoy being gay. Most of us knew it anyway. Just use your channel for fragrances. Nobody gives a crap about your personal life. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. We have to get away from this hurt me culture. Somebody did something to you and all of a sudden it's like it's unforgivable. You know what I mean? We got to move past this stuff, man. It's just fragrances. Like somebody had said to me one time, it's nothing but smelly water. Which is true. In the long run, that's really all it is. So my rant is over. My day is over. I want to leave you with the words that a wise man said to me one time. No matter how big you think you are, in the long scheme of things, you're just a little tiny peon. Truth hurts. This DB, and I just took you behind a lot of nonsense. Y'all have a great one.